Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, that great millstone, and peace to you, sincere brothers, the true house of David that's out there. And I just wanted to go over stumbling blocks, rocks of offense, um, on along the lines where, men of the Lord were brought and they were to be they came into the truth basically to be a stumbling block unto the wicked and to ones that were not meant to be saved or were not meant to get the word. This word is supposed to be a stumbling block. So, when we find ourselves teaching this word and when you're actually teaching it effectively and you don't have and a lot of people don't like you, then that means you're teaching the word the right way. So me personally, I don't really give a damn about who I offend or who don't like what I say. Personally, I don't care because I'm here to please the Lord, and you please the Lord by teaching His men. And honestly, I can see with this truth, it's a majority of men care about how they look more than they care about how they want to teach the word of the Heavenly Father. Now, certain men have been put on certain levels. You know what I'm saying? Some men are higher on certain levels. They can see certain things other men can't. And that's the thing about it. You have to get the right perspective as you're teaching this truth. You have to look at this thing as if the Lord sent you into the world to actually condemn it and to pull out those ones that don't believe. Just like he's the ones that believe, actually, he sent us to condemn the world and to pull out the ones that believe. Like he told Peter, the Lord told Peter, I'm gonna make you a fisher of men. But you got to understand that you're put here to be a stumbling block unto the wicked, and the majority is going to be wicked. The majority is going to get offended. Remember, the Lord said, blessed are those that's not offended in me. And you got to understand that's going to be the majority of the world, because the ones that the Lord want to save is only going to be a few. But as for the majority, they're going to get offended. And even certain men in the truth, they're going to be offended. As we see in these last days, we see the spirit of unbelief that's out there, because along with that spirit of unbelief, it comes with what? Lukewarm. It comes with what? Not passionate about the word. It comes with having a respect of persons. A lot of things that we can see in this truth. But as the word flourishes, those things come out more and more, because as the word flourishes and men are growing in this truth, you can see the wickedness and the evil just shines out even more. So you get to really see that there's a lot of wickedness out there, and there's a lot of non-believers. And the ones that believe, they are going to be doing the work of the evangelist. They're going to be hot for the Lord. They're going to be diligent. The scripture say, give diligent to make that calling and election sure. But you got to remember, you were put here to be a stumbling block and a rock of offense. You see, so we don't need to trim our ways to seek love. We don't need to soften up how we speak, because as I've been in this truth for a while, and I understand, me seeing the things that I see now, I really understand, and I see that not too many men are really believing this thing. It's only going to be a remnant that actually believes, and the majority is going to be destroyed. The scriptures say the election are obtained, but the rest are going to be blinded. Right, so a remnant is going to obtain it, and the rest really are going to be blinded. And the scriptures say, when you see things, the scriptures say you have to utter it, and don't really, suffer sin for that. But what I'm getting at is the scriptures tell you that the Lord put us here to be hated of the world, for the majority of the world. You have to understand the Lord talks about crept in unawares. So don't just think everybody, because they're teaching the truth, that everybody is righteous. You have to consider the fact that the Lord said, blessed are the ones that's not offended. So you got to understand that you were put here to offend. You were put here to teach the word, and the word cuts. You see, and that's why we teach this word, so we could draw in the ones that believe, like as the scriptures say. You see? 2 Peter 2:8. I'm going to read this, 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 8. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 5. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5, it says, ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, a separate priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable unto the Most High by Yahushua Mashiach. So acceptable sacrifices have to be of faith. It can't be a respect of persons in there. You have to believe and you have to be fervent. So like a total opposite of being lukewarm, non-unbelieving, and being in respect of persons. So because you have to believe. Because the scripture says if this thing is not of faith, then it's not going to work. So a lot of men, they don't have faith. And the way I teach and what I say, it's no in between with, how I speak or how I teach. It's either you're going to be edified from what I say or you're going to be condemned. Only reason you're condemned is because you're wicked. And the majority of men are going to be wicked. You see? But this is to build up the church. And a lot of men are in that state where, well, hey, they could bring out a bunch of information about things. They could bring out all this stuff, this history, which is fine, which is cool. But as the brother did do to sit down earlier, a lot of men are not really, they don't really want to say nothing to men that's around them. That's lukewarm, that don't believe. And I'm going to say this, the reason I see that too is because a lot of men, they want to be cool with everybody. They don't really want to be looked at in a bad light. But the Lord, he didn't come in that spirit. He didn't come in that spirit. And that's why I speak the way I do and I say things that I do, because, we're not coming in that spirit either of trying to be liked at nobody. You see, it's a problem if you're really liked in this world, man. That is really a problem. That does not line up with the scriptures, man. That does not line up with what the Lord said. You see, and a lot of men in these last days, we can see they don't want to be looked at in a bad light. They don't want to be looked at a certain way. Well, the Lord will spit on. The scriptures say they mocked the prophets till there was no remedy. So, so when you see these certain things out there that's going on in the world, you don't want to be like that. You want to teach like the Lord did, and you want to be like the prophets of old. You want to bring out things that's edifying. You want to bring out things that may be a little harsh, but you still got to bring it out. A lot of men are in that spirit to where they don't want to say nothing because it's a big ass respected person demon that's out there in this truth. And that's big. That's real heavy. I'm not going to really go into that much, but the brother did a lesson on it. But that's a heavy spirit that's out there. And the Most High can deal with who he deals with. You see, the Lord deals with who he deals with. It don't matter about titles on your name, but the apostles, they the ones that taught me the truth. You see, but you got to understand that this thing is beyond that. And men think just because you have a title that you're a man of the Lord. That's not what this thing is. That's not the case. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5, it says, ye also as lively stones built up a spiritual house and a holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Yahushua Mashiach. Now it says, wherefore also it is contained in the scripture, behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. So the elect are precious, and the elect are not going to be out there in the forefront. They have to be hated of this world. The elect have to be hated of their people and of the other nations. They have to be hated They had to be tucked away so much where like ain't nobody really fucking with them, but they do have followers and they do have true believers that's behind them. But the majority of the elect, they're not going to be out there like that. They're not going to try to put themselves up as something of the world, or try to be famous, or trying to be a respected person. The elect are going to teach, and a lot of men are going to be offended because the elect are teaching. A lot of men get offended because of us. A lot of men get offended because of me. I'm very much hated. I'm very much hated, man, and I'm proud of it. I mean, you know, I'm honored. Shit, I'm honored to be hated, because that's how you know you're doing the right thing. A lot of men, they want to be liked of this world. This world's corrupt. Why the fuck would you care? Because the majority of men that say they love the Lord, they don't believe. Now check this out. It says, the elect precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. That's why it's important for you to believe. It says, verse 7, it says, unto you therefore which believe, he is precious, but unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, same made the hedge of the corner. It says, and a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto they were appointed. So if you are disobedient and you really don't believe, if you're wicked, if you're a demon, if you're a coward, if you're a spy, if you're Asian, if you're wicked, if you're Satan, this will be a stumbling block unto you. You see? But if you're righteous, you can actually learn off of what we say. You see what I'm saying? So there's no in between with me or the true brothers that really love this thing. It's no in between. There's no trimming our ways or none of that. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You know, if you put men over the scriptures, then you're not right. You see, you're not right. If you have respect for a person over than what the Lord say, then you're not of the Lord. Now, 1 Peter 2:8. I want to get that word stumble, offense. Let me see, a rock of offense. That word offense.
Strong's G 4625. Scandalon.
Now that word offense. Now remember, the Lord said, "Blessed are those who are not offended in me." You see, this word was meant to be a trap and a stumbling block. It was meant for that. So we don't have to trim our way or say, "Hey, man, you know, I don't mean to put this that way." No, it is what it is. It's the truth. They either get with it or get gone. Now that word offense, it says a movable stick or trigger or a trap or a trap stick. A trap, a snare. So you're actually snaring guys up that ain't right. You're tripping them up. And another thing, you're actually there. Those men that get offended and that stumble at the word. That means that they're really against the Lord. They're really against Yahweh Shai. You see, it says an impedient place in the way and causing one to stumble or fall. A stumbling block, occasion, a stumbling. Right, it's going to cause you to fall. You're going to fall. You see? A rock in which causing a stumbling applied to Yahushua, whose person and career was so contrary to the expectation of the Jews concerning the Messiah. Right. So check that out. It says to Yahushua, whose person and career were so contrary to the expectation of the Jews concerning the Messiah, that they rejected him and by their obstinacy made shipwreck of their salvation. Right. So just like in this time, you're going to have men, right, that's in the truth, even so men out of the truth, but men in the truth, they're going to reject certain men that the Lord have sent. You see? And the scriptures say that they rejected him by their obstinacy and made shipwreck of their salvation. So a lot of men are put here to reject men because they are stumbling blocks and they can't get over the fact the Lord is dealing with certain men until they has be shipwrecked of their salvation till they be destroyed. So you were put here to be a stumbling block and you're supposed to be a rock of offense. It says, and if any person or anything by which one is entrapped, drawn into error or sin, so it's supposed to trap you. A stumbling block is supposed to trap you and make you fall. You see? So we were put here to be stumbling blocks, not to fucking trim our way. Now that word for offense, it says stumbling block, occasion of stumbling, occasion of fall, things that offend. Things that offend. So we are supposed to offend. You see? You see? And that's why the Lord said he come not to bring peace but a sword. And the Lord said he's coming to divide things. What does a sword do? It cut things up. You see? And that's why the Lord said if you offend one of the little ones, it's so you have little ones out there that's really been sanctioned by the Lord, and you deal with them a certain way, your ass can be saved for destruction. Like a lot of men are being saved for destruction, man. Romans 11:9, and David said unto them, let their table be made a snare, and a trap, and a stumbling block unto the recompense of them. That's right. 1 Corinthians 1:23, it says, but we teach Yahushua unto the Jews a stumbling block, unto the Greeks foolishness. So we are put here to be a stumbling block. You see? Revelations 2:14, but I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that the doctrine of Balaam, who's taught Balak to cast out the stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat the things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication. The Lord have made us be a stumbling block. We were put here to make men stumble as the Lord stumbled. The Lord made men stumble so bad they wanted to kill them. That's how deep this is. The Lord was hated, man. You got to get that in your mind, man. Get this worldly idea of like you're going to be loved in this truth. You're only going to be loved in this truth if you're not teaching the scriptures the right way. And that's why a lot of men are being loved and put up on a pedestal, because they're not teaching the truth as whole as it be. Yeah, you could bring out all this info on Esau. Yeah, you could bring out all this info on certain things. And yeah, you could bring out this and that and this. But certain things like being a stumbling block, when we bring things out about guys, respecting persons, being which is big, being lukewarm, not believing. We go into a lot of things. You see, men crept in unawares. That part of the doctrine needs to come out. Now, the only part why you're not bringing that out is if you don't want men to feel offended around you. You see? But pretty much, man, I just wanted to really bring that out. And another thing too, what I want to say is, by we bringing out certain things and saying certain things, that's real love. You keeping back and not saying shit about things, that's not love unto the Lord's people, man. That's not love. That's not love, man. That's not love, holding shit back. When we tell brothers go to the highway, that's actually love, because you're going to be destroyed. You got men that say that they're highly esteemed and shit like that, and what do they say? They say they love the flock, but then they don't even tell men to go to the highways. They don't give a fuck, man. A lot of men are just in this for fame and clout. When it really come down to the true love of the Lord's flock, a lot of guys don't really love the Lord's flock like that. This is all just for show. But let me tell you this. Let me read this. Let me read this for you guys. And you probably know exactly where I'm going. Yeah, a lot of you guys are going to be destroyed, man. And a lot of you, talking is done. Like, we could do all the talking in the world, but a lot of you just ain't going to fucking get it. Revelations 21:8, it says, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers. The fearful and the unbelieving, because a lot of you men are scared to say certain things and to bring things out, you see? And then a lot of you are unbelieving. And a lot of you, like I said, you might have all this information, you might have this, but what did Paul say in the book of Corinthians? He said, I can have all this knowledge and I can have all these prophecies, but if I don't have charity, then I ain't nothing, man. And a lot of you guys are what Paul was talking about. A lot of you guys are exactly what Paul was talking about, because he said, look, if I don't have charity, then I'm nothing, man. You see? So a lot of you guys ain't nothing out there. You see? And it's always the ones that get all the, like, that have a big ass following. Deep down, they can know all these scriptures. Deep down, they could bring out all this information or all this, that, and the third. But when it actually comes down for true brotherly love, a lot of guys have a respect of person. They don't. They have hate in their heart. They have God. You know, their covetousness. They have an evil eye and shit like that. And I see that shit. So that's what Paul said. He said, "Hey, I can know all these scriptures. I can know all this shit about Esau and shit. I could bring out 10,000 things about Esau. But if a man don't have true charity and he don't love the brotherhood, because by what we say, we might come off hard, but we actually telling man things that's gonna save they fucking life. And a lot of you guys, you just want to follow, and you're not really want to save nobody's life. You just want to look like you the man. But a lot of you guys ain't built to be the man. A lot of you guys are prepping men up to be destroyed. That's what the fuck you're doing. And the Lord is going to let you do that, because that's why a lot of you got a lot of big followings, because deep down your heart ain't right. And we know deep down a lot of people that follow, large followings that follow men, a lot of their ass ain't right either. You're only going to have a few believers in this thing. Anyway, Revelation 21:8, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and the whoremongers and the sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So brothers that really believe and that teach this thing verbally, you don't have to be you're put here to be a rock of offense unto the wicked, and the majority of the world is wicked. So we don't trim our ways. We teach the word, and we actually have true love for the real men of the Lord out there, man. The rest of you phonies, man, you're gonna be destroyed. You and the rest of your followers that take on that mindset like you. But with that, man, Lord willing, it was edifying. But just understand, you were put here to be a rock of offense like the Lord. You see, but if you wasn't put here to be a rock of offense, you're going to teach this truth piecemeal, you see. And with that, man, to be on to the next one. Hey, Shalom.